U.S. President Joe Biden is in Northern Ireland on a 4-day visit to mark 25 years since the signing of the Good Friday Agreement, which ended 30 years of bloodshed. Biden addressed students and prominent personalities of Northern Ireland gathered at the Ulster University. The U.S. president hailed the Good Friday Agreement, adding that it took people coming together all across Northern Ireland to make it happen. While sharing a deep root between the Irish and Americans, Biden said Northern Ireland's future is America's future, as he paid tribute to the countless Irish who made opportunities across the Atlantic by planting farms and making communities, while hoping the Assembly and executive authorities soon return to power in the region. He also added that the economic opportunities for Northern Ireland are just beginning, as he urged the leaders in UK and the EU to address the problems and differences in Northern Ireland, which has emerged due to the newly introduced post-Brexit deal. Earlier, Biden and British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak met for a casual chat. The two leaders are expected to discuss U.S. investment in Northern Ireland and the efforts to support Ukraine. President Biden will also engage with each of the leaders of the Northern Ireland's 5 main political parties. According to police officials, around 300 officers from across the UK would be in Northern Ireland over a 2-week period to provide special support. This includes specialist escort officers, firearms specialists, and search specialists. Recently, UK spy agency MI5 raised Northern Ireland's terrorism level to severe. The major issue for Ukraine authorities remains that the security situation is tense in the region, as the police events are expected to cost around £7 million. This comes after police warned of a potential public disorder linked to the disapproval of the deal by the Republicans. Earlier, a group of mass protesters attacked a police vehicle with a petrol bomb as they opposed the Good Friday peace accord. After a half-day visit in Northern Ireland, Biden, who is fiercely proud of his Irish heritage, will then travel to the Republic of Ireland for almost 3 days of meetings with officials and distant relatives. Well, for more on this, our correspondent, Alex Izat, is joining us live from London. Alex, good to see you. So what are the elements of the Good Friday deal which remain unresolved even until now?
Well, the Good Friday Agreement is what Joe Biden, the US president, was saying today, that needs to be celebrated. It did put a halt to that 30 years of fighting, although it hasn't put it to a halt completely. Obviously, we're still seeing dissident groups. You mentioned there about the petrol bombs, but there was also pipe bombs found in the cemetery this week, and there was an attempted murder of a police officer. Now, these troubles have been going on for centuries, and that isn't stopping, it looks like, sadly, anytime soon. So there is still much to have a discussion with regards. What it comes down to is the island of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Some people want this reunification, which would mean that Ireland itself is a whole country rather than being part of the United Kingdom. And of course, with Brexit and the Windsor Framework, and previous to that, it was a Northern Ireland Protocol, has been really upsetting a lot of people who really want to just see the country come together as a whole rather than being split into two. Obviously, Joe Biden wasn't really there today to try and enforce that discussion. In fact, in his speech earlier, he was trying to be very clever and careful with what he was exactly saying, because as we know, Northern Ireland does not have a sitting parliament at the moment, and that's because the DUP is against the Northern Ireland Protocol and now the Windsor Framework, and they don't want to be pushing forward when there is so much argument still to have. But Joe Biden did say that he would really encourage a conversation and to move forward. And he did speak to all those 5 leaders ahead of that speech there. But since then, we have heard from the DUP again, who said that this is not going to change anything, and they want more constructive conversations. The people are really the ones that are missing out in Northern Ireland, because they don't have elevated parliament which they can go to have their issues resolved. Of course, Joe Biden will be speaking to those leaders again, and no doubt other leaders as he takes on his journey around Ireland and goes to his ancestral home. But for now, there doesn't seem to be any movement within the political spectrum.
Alex, thank you so much for that update. Alec Isat, our correspondent, joining us live from London.